The stars above Voron glimmered in the dark sky, but nothing in the universe could match the grandeur of the alien capital. Towers spiraled into the air like crystal vines, their surfaces shimmering with colors no human eye had names for. In the central arena, a vast structure carved from black stone and silver metal, thousands of alien spectators gathered. The hum of alien voices in tones both musical and harsh filled the air like a living instrument. At the top of the arena, sitting upon a throne of translucent crystal, was Queen Zira, the ruler of the Voron Empire. She was tall, far taller than any human, with 4 long arms and a crown of glowing gems that pulsed like the heartbeat of a galaxy. Her eyes, golden and sharp, swept over the arena with practiced disdain. Today she was not merely watching a contest of skill. She was here to see something she expected to mock. The humans had arrived. They entered the arena in single file, their boots echoing on the smooth black floor. A team of 6, led by Captain Elias Kane, a man of medium build but broad shoulders, walked with calm determination. Their uniforms were simple, light gray and fitted for agility, each human carrying basic equipment, small energy rifles, grappling hooks, and sensors for navigation. Nothing flashy, nothing grand. The aliens laughed. "Look at them," one of Zira's advisors hissed. His skin was a deep violet and his multiple eyes glimmered with amusement. Fragile, small, and weak. Do they think they belong here? The Queen's mouth twisted in a sharp, amused curve. They do not, she said. Her voice carried across the arena, smooth, deadly, and mocking. Let us see how long their courage lasts when tested against true warriors. Even as the words left her mouth, Kane kept walking, his eyes forward. He noticed the stares of the alien crowd but did not flinch. Beside him, Private Mara Lin, a young soldier with keen reflexes, walked quietly, scanning the arena for exits and potential hazards. Her calm expression contrasted with the buzzing excitement of the aliens. One of the smaller alien species, thin-limbed and pale, floated above the human team. Why even bother? They are children playing at war. Kane heard the comment. He did not answer. Instead, he exchanged a brief glance with Mara and whispered, "Focus, ignore them. Strength isn't always shown in size." Mara nodded. The humans reached the center of the arena, where holographic projectors created a simulation of terrain that shifted beneath their feet. Rocks, pits, and rising platforms, all designed to challenge coordination and endurance. The humans studied it quickly, their minds analyzing patterns, calculating angles, and preparing strategies. Zira leaned forward, intrigued despite herself. Most species she had ruled over would panic at such a test. The humans, they moved with a purpose, not fear. "Begin," she commanded. The humans stepped into the course. Immediately, the aliens began to jeer. "They will stumble. They will fall. Watch." And yet the humans moved smoothly. Kane led the way, leaping over a rising platform while Mara scanned the shifting terrain for safe paths. Their team worked in perfect sync, adjusting to the challenges with minimal errors. The crowd's laughter faltered. A few aliens whispered in disbelief. How are they so coordinated?" one murmured. Kane reached a section where a series of obstacles rose and fell in rapid succession. One misstep could send a human plummeting into a pit of simulated energy spikes. Without hesitation, Kane timed his jumps, leading the others across like a conductor guiding an orchestra. Mara followed, extending a grappling hook to swing across a widening gap. She landed with a precision that drew a gasp from some alien spectators. Even Zira's eyes widened slightly. She had not expected such skill from creatures she considered weak. Halfway through the course, the humans faced a puzzle. Several floating panels emitted energy fields that could be deactivated only by touching them in a certain sequence. The aliens watching tried to calculate the solution, but their reliance on raw power made them clumsy and slow. The humans, however, communicated silently with gestures and nodded. Kane touched the first panel, and in quick succession the others followed, deactivating the fields with perfect timing. "Impossible," muttered one of Zira's advisors. Zira remained silent, her golden eyes tracking Kane. He did not look like a hero in her eyes yet. He looked ordinary. Yet ordinary men could do extraordinary things. She had underestimated him already. Finally, the humans reached the last obstacle, a moving platform suspended above a pit that shimmered with simulated plasma. The platform wobbled dangerously. Kane stepped onto it, measured his balance, and gestured for Mara to follow. Together they guided the others across, each step synchronized, each movement precise. When the last human reached the platform safely, the crowd erupted, not in mockery, but in genuine astonishment. Some aliens hissed in frustration, others whispered in admiration. Zira's lips pressed together, a sign of contemplation. She had not expected this. She had expected humans to fail spectacularly, yet here they were, moving not with brute strength but with ingenuity, discipline, and teamwork. Kane turned to face the alien crowd, breathing evenly. "We did what we were trained to do," he said calmly, his voice carrying easily across the arena. "Adapt, observe, work together. Strength is not always muscle. Sometimes it is mind, heart, and unity." Some aliens sneered. Others frowned. Few understood the depth of his words. Zira, however, felt a flicker of respect and perhaps a twinge of fear. "Interesting," she murmured. She leaned back on her throne, her forearms resting on the crystal edges. Her advisors whispered, but she waved them silent. She wanted to watch more. A sudden projection in the arena displayed the next challenge, a mock combat scenario, testing reflexes, strategy, and decision-making under pressure. The humans glanced at each other and nodded. Kane spoke quietly. "This is what they expect. We'll show them more than what they think strength is." Mara adjusted her stance. "Let's show them humanity." The crowd waited eagerly, expecting humans to stumble next. But Kane and his team simply smiled and moved forward, their steps confident, unafraid, and determined. Zira tilted her head, her golden eyes narrowing. She had mocked humans from the moment they arrived. Yet now, seeing them handle challenges with calm intelligence, she felt something unfamiliar. Curiosity, maybe even admiration. "Let the real test begin," she whispered, almost to herself. "Let us see if one of them is truly extraordinary." As the humans prepared for the next stage, the camera-like eyes of alien spectators tracked them. Not a single movement went unnoticed. Kane, unaware of the growing interest, focused only on the task. The humans were small, yes, but there was a fire in them. A fire that no alien had expected, and somewhere in the royal box, Queen Zira felt it too. For the first time in her reign, she began to wonder, what if strength isn't just about size, speed, or power? What if humans have something she has never truly faced before? The arena's lights dimmed, signaling the beginning of the next challenge. Kane and his team moved forward, their minds sharp, their spirits unshaken. The aliens held their breath. And the Queen, for the first time, sat silently, intrigued. The jeers were gone, replaced by a quiet tension. Something extraordinary was about to unfold, and even Zira could sense it. The humans had arrived not just to survive. They had arrived to show the galaxy the true meaning of courage. The arena lights shifted, casting long, shifting shadows across the black floor. Where before the humans had faced obstacles, now a new challenge awaited. A tactical test designed to show both speed and combat intelligence. The alien spectators leaned forward, eager to see the humans fail. Some of the smaller aliens whispered in excitement, predicting disaster. Yet Kane and his team moved with quiet confidence, their eyes scanning the new terrain. "This is more than just strength," Kane said softly to his team. "Watch, plan, and act together. We don't have to be the strongest to succeed." Marlin nodded. Her eyes scanned the arena, noting rising platforms, energy barriers, and moving walls. "Every obstacle has a pattern," she said. "If we work together, we can move faster than they expect." The first part of the challenge was a series of platforms that rose and fell at unpredictable speeds. Any misstep would trigger an alarm, forcing the human team to start over. The aliens, confident in their power, watched with amusement as the humans studied the mechanisms. Kane stepped forward first. He timed the platform movements, calculating speed and distance with precision. "Now," he whispered. The humans followed in exact order, each one moving in perfect sync. One alien spectator hissed, "How can they be so coordinated? Their species is so small, so simple." The humans reached the end of the first obstacle without a single misstep. The crowd murmured. Some aliens began whispering in disbelief. Kane glanced back at his team. "Good. Keep moving." Next, they faced a puzzle, a wall of floating panels that emitted energy pulses in patterns. The panels could only be deactivated in a specific sequence. Most aliens relied on brute force to smash or bypass obstacles, but the humans approached it differently. They watched the patterns, identified repetitions, and used gestures to communicate silently. Kane touched the first panel. Mara followed, activating the second. The others moved quickly in sequence, turning what seemed like chaos into order. The panels glowed briefly, then powered down entirely. The arena fell into a stunned silence. Even Zira's advisors stared, their jaws tightening. "Impossible," muttered one. "No human could think this fast." Zira remained silent, her forearms folded. She leaned forward, golden eyes fixed on Kane. He did not move like a hero. He moved like a thinker, and that frightened her more than any display of strength could. The next test was a simulation of combat strategy. The humans were placed on one side of the arena, and holographic projections of alien warriors appeared, blocking paths and trying to trap them. The humans had only light energy rifles and a few simple tools, while the projections mimicked advanced alien technology. Kane studied the holograms. "They expect us to attack directly," he said. "We won't. We'll use the terrain." He led his team to higher platforms, using grappling hooks and handholds to stay out of the projection's range. Mara threw a small sensor onto one of the holographic enemies, causing it to freeze temporarily. The other humans coordinated their movements, guiding the projections into traps and using timing to avoid contact. The alien crowd gasped. "How are they doing that?" whispered one, astonished. Zira's eyes narrowed. She had ruled for centuries and seen countless species fight. None had ever combined observation, timing, and strategy so effortlessly. The humans were small and fragile, but they had something rare, thinking under pressure, without panic. Halfway through the simulation, Mara noticed an irregularity in one of the hologram's patterns. "Captain, its movement repeats every third step," she said. "We can exploit it." Kane nodded. "Good. Prepare." They moved together, luring the projections into a corner. At just the right moment, they triggered a chain reaction of sensors, disabling all holographic enemies at once. The arena erupted, not in laughter but in astonished murmurs. Zira's golden eyes widened. She had mocked humans for their size, their fragility, and their simple appearance. Yet here they were, proving her assumptions wrong at every turn. She had to admit her curiosity was growing into something deeper. Respect. "Remarkable," she whispered to herself. "Truly remarkable." The humans paused to catch their breath. Kane looked at his team. "We're not done. Keep alert. Every challenge is a test." The next test involved teamwork under time pressure. The arena projected floating energy cubes that needed to be carried and stacked on platforms. Alone, the cubes were heavy and difficult for humans, but with coordination, they became manageable. Kane organized the team with clear instructions, combining leverage, timing, and balance. Mara lifted one cube, positioning it carefully, while Kane guided her movements. Together, they created a chain where each human passed cubes efficiently, stacking them higher and higher. Aliens watching muttered in amazement. Even some young alien spectators looked impressed. Zira remained silent, though her mind raced. Humans were supposed to fail. She had jeered at them only moments ago. Yet each success now added weight to a growing question. Could humans truly be extraordinary? Finally, the last stage approached. A single human would be chosen for a test of agility and courage, a solo challenge that required balancing on narrow moving beams over a glowing pit, dodging swinging energy barriers, and retrieving a small flag from the center. The choice was obvious to Kane. "Mara," he said. "You're the fastest and the most precise. Take it." Mara nodded and stepped forward. Her movements were calm and controlled, almost elegant. The crowd held its breath. The aliens had never seen humans act like this. Small, fragile-looking, yet utterly fearless. The beams moved unpredictably. Energy barriers swung with speed. Mara adjusted her footing carefully, timing each step perfectly. She leaped over the final barrier and grasped the flag at the center. The arena erupted in shocked applause. Humans had succeeded again. Zira's advisors whispered among themselves. She did it. A human succeeded where we expected failure. The queen leaned back in her throne. Her voice was calm, but her tone was thoughtful. Perhaps we underestimated them. Kane approached Mara, helping her down from the platform. Good work, he said. You kept calm and focused, that's what matters. Mara smiled. We all did. They'll see we're not just small, fragile creatures. We can think, adapt, and succeed where others fail. Zira's golden eyes followed Kane and Mara as they returned to the team. Something about their calm confidence unsettled her. She had mocked humans expecting failure, but now she felt an unfamiliar emotion, respect mixed with uncertainty. For the first time in her reign, she wondered whether humans were more than they seemed. Could these small creatures truly change the way her empire viewed strength? She did not yet have the answer, but she was eager to see more. The humans, unaware of the queen's thoughts, regrouped in the center of the arena. Kane addressed them quietly, his voice steady and firm. Every challenge we face together. Stay focused, stay smart, stay human. The team nodded, unified, ready for whatever came next. They had proven skill, courage, and teamwork, but the real tests were still ahead, and somewhere high. Above in her crystal throne, Queen Zira leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the humans. I will watch them closely, she murmured. One of them might surprise me. The arena buzzed with anticipation. Aliens whispered, spectators leaned forward, and humans remained calm, prepared, and united. A storm of curiosity had begun, and the humans were at its center. This was the moment where perception began to change. Where humans, mocked as weak and fragile, began to show a galaxy-wide audience that true strength was not measured by muscle or size, but by courage, intelligence, and teamwork. The challenge had ended, but the story was only beginning. The arena lights dimmed, replaced by a pale green glow that filled the vast structure. Today's challenge was different. The obstacle courses and puzzles had tested agility, intelligence, and coordination. Now the humans faced a mock battle, a challenge meant to measure courage, strategy, and teamwork under pressure. The alien spectators murmured with excitement. Many had already begun doubting their assumptions about humans, but most still expected them to fail. Kane and his team stepped forward, weapons in hand. Their rifles emitted soft pulses of energy, harmless but effective for the simulation. The humans had minimal gear compared to the holographic aliens they were about to face. Every detail of the arena had been designed to favor the aliens. Uneven terrain, cover points for ambushes, and unpredictable hazards. Remember, Kane said quietly to his team, strength isn't just muscle. Watch, adapt, and use your brains. Stay together. That's our advantage. Marlin nodded, adjusting the strap of her light rifle. They'll underestimate us. Let's make it count. The simulation began. Holographic aliens appeared across the arena, their movements fast and precise. They were programmed to act as the most skilled fighters in the Empire, responding to every human move with speed and strategy. Most species would have panicked. Most would have tried to fight head-on. But humans were not most species. Kane led his team toward higher ground using the uneven terrain for cover. He signaled Mara to flank left while two other soldiers moved to provide distraction. The aliens reacted instantly, rushing toward the humans, expecting an easy trap. Instead, Kane's team used timing and coordination. They dodged attacks, guided the holograms into narrow passages, and used small energy pulses to block movements temporarily. Every action was precise, every movement planned. Zira's golden eyes narrowed. She had watched countless species fight, and none had ever used strategy with such elegance. Humans were small, yes, but their minds were lightning fast. Interesting, she whispered. They are not only surviving, they are controlling the battlefield. Halfway through the simulation, the humans encountered a surprise, a series of moving platforms above a glowing energy pit, forcing them to divide attention between movement and enemies. Kane held up a hand. Split into pairs. Cover each other. Move when safe. Mara paired with another soldier, timing jumps over gaps while firing harmless pulses to redirect holographic enemies. Kane did the same with another teammate. Every movement was synchronized. Even when a platform wobbled dangerously, the humans adjusted instinctively, using momentum and balance. The crowd grew silent. Not one spectator had expected humans to navigate this section without mistakes. Yet here they were, calm, precise, and coordinated. One alien whispered to another, How can they think so fast? Our best warriors cannot match this speed of decision." Zyra leaned forward in her crystal throne, studying Kane closely. He moved like a conductor, directing his team with small gestures and quiet commands. She could feel her old assumptions breaking. The humans reached the final stage, a duel with the arena's champion holographic warrior. This was meant to humiliate any species foolish enough to challenge the simulation. The hologram was enormous, fast, and equipped with virtual weaponry that could strike from any angle. Kane stepped forward alone. His team formed a defensive circle behind him, providing support but not interfering. The crowd, alien and human alike, leaned forward. Some aliens whispered doubts. Surely this small human would be crushed. Kane's eyes scanned the hologram. It moved with perfect symmetry, waiting for a direct attack. Kane knew brute force would fail. Instead, he used patience. He watched, waited for openings, and shifted positions to control the arena. The first strike came. Kane dodged quickly, not with speed alone, but by anticipating the hologram's rhythm. Every movement was calculated. He blocked with his rifle when necessary, but relied mostly on observation. The hologram adjusted, faster now, more aggressive. Kane remained calm. He guided the hologram toward one corner of the arena, subtly using energy fields to restrict its movement. His teammates coordinated pulses from a distance, slowing the hologram further. Zyra's breath caught. She had expected chaos, but instead she saw strategy, patience, and intelligence in motion. A small human was outmaneuvering her champion hologram without brute force. Kane saw an opening. With a quick feint, he drew the hologram's attacks toward a narrow beam. Using timing and balance, he slipped past the hologram, landing perfectly on a platform. Then, with a clever twist, he redirected the hologram into a harmless trap. The crowd gasped. The humans had done it. Kane stood calm and steady as the hologram dissolved into light, signaling the end of the challenge. The aliens erupted, not with jeers but with shock and awe. They had expected failure, yet a human had succeeded where they believed no other could. Zyra remained still, her golden eyes wide. She had mocked humans for centuries, seeing them as weak and fragile. Yet now one human had proven her assumptions wrong in front of the entire empire. She leaned back silent for a long moment. Finally she spoke, her voice carrying across the arena, calm yet tinged with surprise. "Humans, you are exceptional." Kane looked toward the Queen, recognizing the rare acknowledgement for what it was. Respect. Not given lightly, especially from one who had once mocked them. He turned to his team. "We've shown them who we are," he said quietly. "Not by strength, but by courage, strategy, and unity. That is our power." Mara Lynn smiled. "And they finally see it. Maybe not all, but some of them will never forget it." Zyra's eyes lingered on Kane. Something about him unsettled her. Not his size, not his weapons, but his mind and spirit. She had ruled over countless species, yet humans were different. They were small, fragile-looking, but capable of extraordinary thought, courage, and adaptation. For the first time, she felt curiosity mixed with something unfamiliar, admiration. She had never considered that a species so underestimated could teach her empire a lesson about true strength. The aliens around her whispered, "Did you see that? A human outsmarted the champion hologram." "Yes," she replied quietly. "And it is only the beginning. Watch closely. One of them may surpass all expectations." The humans regrouped in the center of the arena. Kane addressed them calmly, as always. "We have done well, but stay alert. Every test from now on will be harder. They will try to challenge our minds, our courage, and our hearts. We are ready." The arena lights shifted again, signaling the next phase. The crowd buzzed with anticipation, and even the most skeptical aliens now watched humans with newfound attention. Kane and his team, small and unassuming, stood in the center, calm, confident, and prepared for whatever came next. For the first time, humans were no longer simply participants. They were examples of ingenuity and courage, the kind that made even a queen question her assumptions. Zyra studied Kane, Mara, and the team carefully. She had mocked them at first. She had jeered and expected failure. Now, after witnessing humans in action, she felt a realization settling in her mind. Strength was not measured by size or power. True strength was courage, intelligence, and unity, and the humans had it in abundance. The stage was set. Future challenges awaited, but Kane and his team had already begun to change perceptions across the galaxy. From jeers to curiosity, from doubt to admiration, the humans had made their mark. Zyra's thoughts lingered on one question, one that would guide her actions in the days ahead. Could one human truly surpass even her expectations? For the humans, however, there was no time for self-reflection. The next challenge was approaching, and they were ready to face it, together. United, intelligent, and brave, they moved forward, showing the galaxy that being human meant more than what met the eye. This was the moment where legends began, and Queen Zyra, the one who had mocked them, would be there to witness it all. The arena was silent, waiting. The last challenges had tested agility, intelligence, and strategy. The humans had succeeded beyond the aliens' expectations, and Queen Zyra herself had begun to question her assumptions. Now, the next stage was not about teamwork alone. It was a test of individual courage, skill, and presence under pressure. The arena lights dimmed and focused on a central platform. It floated above a pit glowing with energy, casting an eerie green light. Suspended beams swung slowly across the gap, some barely wide enough for a human to step on. This was the ultimate test, a duel between Captain Elias Kane and the arena's champion warrior, a massive alien, strong, fast, and armed with lethal simulated weaponry. The spectators leaned forward, eager to see the humans fail. Many had assumed Kane would falter, that the small human would be overwhelmed. But humans were not easily intimidated. Kane stepped onto the platform, calm and focused. Mara, Lynn, and the rest of the team watched from the sidelines, ready to assist if needed. Queen Zyra observed silently from her throne. Her forearms rested on the crystal armrests and her golden eyes narrowed. She had mocked humans when they first arrived, expecting clumsiness and failure. But Kane, he was different. She sensed it even before the duel began. The champion alien towered over Kane, muscles rippling under its armor, movements precise and fast. It struck first, a sweeping motion meant to knock Kane off balance. Kane didn't panic. He had no intention of overpowering the alien. Instead, he stepped lightly to the side, using the momentum of the attack to move closer to a stable beam. The spectators gasped. Humans were supposed to be weak, fragile creatures. Yet Kane moved with calm precision, anticipating every strike. "Interesting," Zyra whispered. "He does not fight like a human, and not like an alien either." The duel continued. Kane's opponent was fast, but Kane relied on observation and timing. He watched the alien's movements carefully, learning patterns, predicting attacks, and using his environment. Every beam, every platform, every gap became part of his strategy. He dodged, stepped, and leapt with balance that seemed impossible for his size. From the sidelines, Mara Lynn whispered encouragement. "Focus, Captain. You've got this." Kane smiled faintly, acknowledging her support. "Just watch and learn," he said quietly to himself. The champion struck again, aiming to push Kane toward the energy pit. Kane feinted left, then right, guiding the alien off balance. Using the alien's own momentum, Kane sidestepped at the last moment. The champion stumbled, momentarily caught in its own overconfidence. Zyra leaned forward, her golden eyes widening. She had ruled over the galaxy for centuries. She had seen countless champions fight, yet she had never witnessed strategy and courage combined so flawlessly. Kane was small, yes, but every movement exuded confidence and intelligence. The audience was mesmerized. Aliens whispered among themselves. Humans gasped quietly, holding their breath. No one had expected Kane to survive the first few exchanges, yet he had not only survived, he had controlled the fight. Kane knew brute force would not win this duel. Instead, he studied the champion like a puzzle, looking for openings. He noticed a pattern. The alien strikes always repeated after the third motion. Timing was everything. He waited. 1, 2, 3, and then, with perfect precision, he moved. He sidestepped a massive strike, guided the champion onto a narrow beam, and used a harmless but clever maneuver to pin it temporarily. The alien struggled, surprised by Kane's intelligence and calm under pressure. Zyra's advisors whispered frantically, "Impossible. The human is controlling the champion." The queen remained silent, captivated. Kane's movements were not just skill. They were art, patience, and courage in motion. She had mocked humans, yet here one of them was turning a duel into a lesson for the entire empire. Kane's team watched anxiously, ready to support him, but he needed no help. Each step he took was precise, calculated, and fearless. The champion struck again, faster this time, but Kane anticipated the attack, twisting and dodging while keeping balance on the swinging beams. The crowd erupted in astonishment. This was no ordinary duel. This was a display of human ingenuity, courage, and calm thinking under pressure. Zyra's golden eyes shone. She had seen countless warriors fight for glory, for honor, for survival. Yet none had shown the combination of mind and courage that Kane displayed. She had mocked humans when they arrived, but now she felt awe. One small human had proven that strength was not just size or power. It was courage, intelligence, and the ability to adapt. Kane saw the final opening. The champion alien prepared for a massive overhead strike, expecting to finish the duel. Kane's mind raced. Timing and balance, patience and strategy, everything he had practiced led to this moment. He feinted left, then rolled under the strike. Using the alien's own momentum, he guided it off the narrow beam and onto a stable platform, harmlessly securing it without any injury. The duel was over. Kane stood tall, breathing evenly, calm and confident. The arena was silent for a heartbeat, then erupted in astonishment. Humans had succeeded where everyone expected failure. Not by brute force, not by sheer speed, but by skill, intelligence, and courage. Zyra rose from her throne. Her forearms extended slightly, an unfamiliar gesture for respect among her people. She spoke, her voice carrying across the arena. "Captain Elias Kane, you have surpassed every expectation. You have shown courage, intelligence, and skill beyond your species. Today, you have changed the way we see humans." The crowd was stunned. Some aliens whispered in disbelief. Kane glanced toward the queen, recognizing her rare acknowledgement. Respect, not given lightly, especially from one who had once mocked them. He turned to his team. "We've done well," he said quietly. "But stay alert. Every challenge ahead will be harder. We must remain ready, together." Mara Lynn stepped forward and smiled. "We've shown them what humans can do. Maybe now they will finally respect us." Zyra remained silent, her golden eyes fixed on Kane. For the first time, she felt admiration mixed with curiosity. Humans had always been underestimated, small, fragile, and unpredictable. But Kane had proven that intelligence, courage, and calm under pressure were just as powerful as brute strength. The humans regrouped in the center of the arena. Kane addressed them quietly, as always. "Today we've shown that strength is not only muscle, it is courage, intelligence, and unity. Remember that. The galaxy may see us differently from now on." The spectators, both alien and human, whispered among themselves. The humans had changed perception. They were no longer merely participants. They were examples of ingenuity and courage. Queen Zyra studied Kane carefully. She had mocked humans at first, but now she realized something profound. True strength was not measured by size or power, but by courage, intelligence, and the will to face the impossible. The arena buzzed with anticipation for the final stage. Humans had already proven remarkable, yet Kane knew the next challenges would demand even more. Still, united and confident, the team stood ready. For the first time, humans were seen as more than small, fragile creatures. They were warriors of mind, heart, and spirit, and Queen Zyra, who had jeered at them from the start, now sat silently, captivated and respectful. The stage was set. The humans had impressed, but the ultimate test was still to come. And when it arrived, no one, neither alien nor human, would forget the courage, intelligence, and skill displayed by Captain Elias Kane and his team. The arena was quiet, the anticipation almost tangible. The previous challenges had tested humans in every way imaginable: agility, strategy, teamwork, and courage. Captain Elias Kane had faced the champion alien in a duel that stunned the galaxy. Now the final stage awaited. This was not about survival nor skill alone. It was a stage to earn respect. The floating platforms and glowing energy pits were removed. Instead, the arena transformed into a massive open space, with simulations of complex scenarios where humans and aliens could interact, problem solve, and demonstrate leadership. The spectators leaned forward, eyes wide. Many had already begun to whisper among themselves. The humans had proven themselves, but what would happen now? Kane turned to his team. Stay calm. Show them who we are. Not with violence, but with courage, intelligence, and unity. Mara Lynn adjusted her gear, her expression calm but determined. Let's finish this. The first scenario involved a team of aliens caught in a harmless but intricate simulation trap. Humans were tasked with guiding them safely without using force. Kane quickly organized the team, assigning roles with clarity and efficiency. Some humans acted as guides, others used tools to deactivate traps, and Mara used her sensors to detect patterns the aliens could not. The aliens struggled at first, accustomed to solving problems with strength. Kane and his team approached them patiently, using observation, explanation, and teamwork. Slowly, the alien participants began to move correctly, guided by the humans' calm leadership. Zyra observed from her throne, golden eyes fixed on Kane. She had never seen humans lead with such patience and clarity. Strength was often measured by power in her empire, but humans measured it differently, by courage, intelligence, and cooperation. She felt admiration grow, tempered with the curiosity to understand more. The next stage tested creativity under pressure. The arena projected complex structures that needed to be rearranged into functional bridges and platforms. The catch: humans had only simple tools while alien species were given advanced equipment. Most spectators assumed the humans would fail. Kane studied the projections carefully. We don't need their equipment. Use your minds. Observe, plan, and act together. The humans worked quickly, combining logic with creativity. Mara noticed a weak point in the floating platforms and suggested using ropes and pulleys in an unusual way. Kane coordinated the team, adjusting positions and timing to optimize movement. Within minutes, the humans had completed the task flawlessly, creating safe paths where others expected chaos. A murmur ran through the alien crowd. How did they do that?" whispered one. Zyra leaned forward slightly. Her voice was soft but firm. "Incredible. They have not only courage but the intelligence to adapt instantly, and they teach it to others without aggression. This is rare." Finally, the last challenge approached, a symbolic demonstration of leadership and diplomacy. Humans were tasked to negotiate a solution between two simulated alien factions, both stubborn and proud, in a scenario designed to escalate quickly. Most species would have resorted to threats or force, but Kane relied on communication, reasoning, and empathy. He addressed the factions calmly, listening carefully to each side, repeating their concerns to show understanding, and guiding them toward compromise. The humans used logic, patience, and subtle gestures to build trust. Slowly, the factions agreed to a joint plan, something none of the alien spectators had expected. The arena erupted, not in laughter, not in mockery, but in applause and astonishment. Humans had succeeded in a challenge that tested the mind, the heart, and diplomacy. Zyra rose from her throne, her four arms extending slightly, an alien gesture of respect. Her golden eyes focused on Kane and his team. She spoke, her voice echoing across the arena. Captain Elias Kane and all human warriors present, you have shown the galaxy the true meaning of strength. You are not the strongest by size, nor the fastest, nor the most powerful, but your courage, intelligence, unity, and spirit surpass that of any other species I have ruled. The aliens around her whispered in disbelief. Respect had never been given so freely, especially to a species they had once mocked. Kane glanced at his team, smiling faintly. We did what we were trained to do, he said quietly. We stayed human. Mara stepped forward. They've seen what humans can accomplish when we work together, think clearly, and act with courage. That's our real strength. Zira's golden eyes softened, a rare expression for a queen known for her severity. You have not only completed the challenges but changed perceptions. The galaxy will never see humans the same way again. You have earned my respect and the respect of all who witnessed this. Kane approached the queen, bowing slightly, a gesture of acknowledgement. Zira inclined her head. In that moment, an understanding passed between them. Humans had earned something that few other species ever had: recognition and admiration on a galactic scale. The arena lights shifted. Bathing the humans in soft illumination, they looked around at the spectators, humans and aliens alike, realizing that their presence had begun to shift the entire Empire's mindset. Captain Kane, Zira said quietly, I admit I underestimated your species. I mocked you, expecting failure. Yet you have proven something remarkable, not only in skill but in spirit. Humanity is extraordinary. Kane nodded respectfully. Thank you, Queen Zira. We came here not to fight or conquer, but to show who we are. We hope the galaxy sees that humans value courage, intelligence, and unity above all else. Zira considered his words. For centuries she had ruled by power and fear, yet humans had shown her a different kind of strength, one that inspired respect, loyalty, and admiration without coercion. She smiled faintly, a rare and genuine expression. You have given me a lesson, she said, a lesson I will carry forward. The Voran Empire will remember this day. The crowd erupted again, but this time in celebration. Aliens and humans alike cheered, some for the display of skill, some for the demonstration of courage, and some for the undeniable human spirit that had shone through every challenge. Kane's team regrouped, quietly proud but composed. Mara Lynn whispered, We've done more than win challenges. We've shown what humanity truly is, Kane smiled. Yes, and the galaxy will not forget it. As the humans returned to their ship, preparations for departure were already underway. Yet even in the moments of quiet, Queen Zira remained on her throne, thinking deeply. Humans had taught her empire something it had rarely understood. Strength comes in many forms, and courage can come in even the smallest of packages. The humans boarded their vessel. Kane looked out at the stars, the vast expanse of space stretching endlessly before him. Mara joined him, her expression calm but thoughtful. They will remember this, Captain, she said. Not just the victories, but the way we acted. Our courage, our thinking, our unity, it changes how they see us. Kane nodded. Humans are more than what they expect, and now the galaxy knows it. Above the arena, Queen Zira watched the humans depart. She had mocked them once, laughed at their size and simplicity, but she would never do so again. The humans had earned a place in her mind and her empire's history. For the first time in centuries, she realized that true strength was not measured in muscle or weapons alone, but in heart, mind, and spirit. And humanity had shown all of these qualities in abundance. The legend of Captain Elias Kane and his team spread quickly across the galaxy. Stories were told not of human weakness, but of human ingenuity, courage, and unity. Species that had once doubted humans now studied their tactics, their leadership, and their resolve. And for the humans themselves, the journey was not only about winning challenges, it was about proving that even the smallest, seemingly fragile species could inspire respect and change the universe. Queen Zira, once a figure of mockery and judgment, now considered humans allies, equals, and even teachers in a sense. She had seen firsthand that size and strength were only part of the picture, and that true power often came in forms she had never truly considered, forms exemplified by the human spirit. As Kane and Mara looked out at the endless stars from their ship, they felt a quiet pride. Humanity had not only survived, they had excelled. And in doing so, they had carved a place for themselves in the galaxy, not through force but through courage, intelligence, and unity. The galaxy would never look at humans the same way again.